Are you rushing your golf downswing and want to get more of that effortless power off the tee? In this next video, I'm going to show you some great drills and a great training aid. You can stop rushing your downswing and get more power in just a sec. See you soon. Hey, it's Troy from Hitting It Solid here. In this video I want to take you through some real keys so you can stop rushing your downswing and get more power off the tee, which is obviously something we all want. So why do most golfers rush that downswing? Well, I believe, I'll grab a driver here, most of the issue stems from that want to get this club head down to the ball as quick as possible. And in that urgency to do that, most golfers really push against the club head and really try to force the issue, and all that does is actually slow down this actual club head and they actually lose a lot of distance. And the reason is they've got their sequencing around the wrong way. And what I mean by that is, in a really good golf swing, when we start that downswing, what we want to see happen is we want the feet to move first, we then want our torso to move, then our arms and hands, and then lastly the club head lagging behind, which is what creates all that club head speed. So that's what we really want to see happen. And where most golfers go wrong, and I see this all the time, nearly every weekend, is when they get to the top of their swings, the very first move they make is this. The very first move, the hands move, upper body moves first, and it's just a sequencing issue. So really you need to sort of switch that around and get the ground, the feet, the torso, arms and hands moving next, and then the club head last, and that's what's going to create all of that club head speed that you're looking for. And if you apply this to other sports, for example, the motion of throwing a ball, like in baseball, you'll see them do this all the time. They've got a ball on this, the first thing they do is that when they shift their weight to the rear, the very first thing they do is they don't just hang back here and throw the ball like this, is they put their left foot down like this for a right thrower. They get all their force into that, and then they throw their upper body moves, elbow, and the very last thing is their hand where the actual ball is, and they throw. It's the same sequence in a golf swing, so they just really need to, if you can understand that, just to reverse things around, you'll start to get a lot more power and slow down that downswing that's been robbing you of that speed. So another key concept is, in that downswing, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of golfers want to push very quickly. Now, the way to generate more speed and power is to really think of the opposite to that, and the opposite to pushing is pulling. So when we get to the top, instead of thinking push, 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 which what will cause this to go a lot slower and it causes you to cast like that, is to think the opposite and pull. What I like to do is when I get to the top, first thing I'm thinking is, as I push into the ground, is really pulling those arms like that so that I can create some of that lag angle. And if you can think more in terms of pulling, you get a lot more club head speed rather than pushing those hands. So if you can sort of understand that concept, that will really help you slow down that downswing and get more of that effortless power that you see so many golfers do at your local club. Now, another thing we need to work on to stop us from rushing that downswing is making sure we complete our backswing. I see a lot of golfers, they make a decent takeaway, but then they sort of cheat and sort of just push their arms up like that. And as you can see there from down the line, if I just do this, I haven't really completed my backswing. So from face on, if I just do this, you can see this shoulder here hasn't anywhere near turned around anywhere close to 90 degrees. And when you don't complete your backswing, usually what happens in the downswing, you'll have a tendency to want to force the issue to make up for that lack of rotation and really rush that downswing. So a great drill to fix that is to, first of all, take that right hand off the club and just do some one-handed swings, and you'll see how easy it is to really get that full rotation in the backswing. So if I do a swing like this, You can see that it's really easy for me to get 90 degrees of rotation in my backswing just by taking that right arm off, just to get that feeling. It's very much a feel drill. And just practice turning. And if you can get a much fuller backswing, once we get both arms back on there, and if you can get a fuller backswing, it'll make it much easier to start a smooth transition into the downswing and get a lot more of that effortless power that we spoke of. So I'm going to take you through a couple of drills and a really great training aid at the end, so make sure you stick around to that. That will really help cement this in your game. You can practice all of this at home. You don't need to even go to a range or even your golf course to do it. So the first drill I like to do is called the step drill. What that involves is, if I set up like so, I get my feet close together, and this will help with that sequencing that I talked about earlier, about making sure you use the ground first on the downswing. I get my feet together, I take a step back as I make my backswing, I bring my other left foot over, and as I start my downswing, I want to step and then swing through. And what that'll do is that will train you to make sure you use those legs first in that downswing. So I'll do that again. Feet together, backswing, other one comes over, and we step. And you'll feel a much more balanced golf swing, a lot more powerful, just by practicing that step drill. And that will work with not just your drive obviously, but all of your clubs through your bag. So that's one great drill. Now I'm going to show you a training aid here that works really effectively with getting your sequencing right. So I'll put that down. This is called the orange whip. Now I'll put a link down below so you can check this out. What it is it's a very flexible club with a really heavy weight on the end. And what that'll do is that'll give you a great feedback on whether you're moving too quickly in the downswing, because what will happen is, due to this weight, if you're someone that tries to rush that downswing or cast, you'll get instant feedback that you're doing it wrong. So from down the line, and you see how flexible this is. If I was to rush this downswing and do this, you can see what happens. This is so heavy and flexible, it just flicks out in front of me, and straight away you know you're going to hit a poor shot. But so what you want to do is, we go to the top, you want to use the ground first, torso, arms, shoulders, and swing it through. Get that sequencing right and have this heavy mass lagging behind, which creates all that power. So from face on, get to the top, the legs to go first, and this lagging behind. And it's really a great feeling sort of drill that you can do to get this part lagging behind, and that way you get that effortless power. So that's called the orange whip, and that's a fantastic training aid you can practice at home to really help you get a feel for how the club head should work in the golf swing. Now if you haven't got one of these, it also works pretty effectively with two golf clubs, because what that does is it creates a bit of that extra weight and will stop you from rushing that downswing. So put two clubs together, grip it as per normal. If you go to the top of the swing, you can feel that extra weight. So we shift, and legs first, torso, arms, hands, club head last, and you get a great, once again you're getting that great feel for slowing down that downswing, letting the club head lag behind, and that's what creates that effortless power that we're after. So make sure you give those drills a try. I know those will really help you out. Thanks so much for watching. Now don't forget to give me a thumbs up for this video if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now below this video I'll have a couple of links to some additional golf instruction that I know will really help you out, so make sure you check that out. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video.